Dirty Moose 2023. This is the start of the 40A race. We had watched the pros and the experts and Betmaster and Ladies Pro and 30A all take off ahead of us, and some of the pros and some of the Betmasters took that first corner way too fast and ended up crashing and taking out some guys. So we should have learned from that, and I'm sure there was other crashes afterwards. It was super slippery. So yeah, got off to a bit of a rough start here. Cat bumped into me there, and I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it here off the get-go. So just trying to calm down and breathe and not crash like I did last year here, coming out of the next section around some trees, and again the grass is so slippery, so it's super easy to wipe out. So just trying to take it easy. I know I'm not going to win or lose this thing off the get-go, so just kind of make it out of the first section here alive, and then go from there. So kind of got bumped here and into a tree and bobbled and lost some places, so I'm already just like super frustrated, but pressing on, following Chris Stojal now here. He's this may be his last year in 48. He turns 50 next year, and he's super fast and a fun guy to compete with. He just work takes him away from racing quite a bit, I guess, so he hasn't been out to too many races, but a fun guy to battle with, and he stands out like a sore thumb with his Highlander yellow gear all the time, so you always know when he's around. So yeah, drop in underneath the bridge and sort of head out onto a bit of an open quad trail here off the start, just trying to get us into some of the funner stuff. So this first loop was something that both the AMPs rode, and then later on there's after the field check there was an AB split, and then they sent us off in different directions. But for now, I think everybody would have rode this section. One more thing about Chris here. Last year, he was one of the few guys to make the cutoff for the second part of this race, and then ended up. I'm not sure if he broke his arm, or I think he broke something in his arm. So this was a tough race on him last year. But this year he survived, so I think that's a win in anybody's book after having a tough race the year before. But yeah, he takes off, makes some passes here, and later on has a little bit of a bobble on a bridge, and ends up going over the bars and into a creek. So I got past him there, and didn't really see him again, but I think he ended up 6th overall. So right now I'm following Hutch here and Monty. Again, both two good riders. Hutch is more of I think an MX guy, but he had some rotten luck at Alex, and ended up tearing off the valve stem on his rear tire, so he DNF'd. And I haven't seen Monty out at any of the races yet this year, but at Tombstone last year, I think he boiled his bike over in one of the really hard sections. He was there and lent a hand when guys were struggling, so that was appreciated. But yeah, here we're still on the quad trail, just kind of getting into the stuff. Pretty uneventful off the get-go here, so I didn't record much further just because, yeah, it wasn't highlight reel worthy. So, but this is dropping down a rather steep hill here. It was in the race last year, and certainly not as beaten as it is now, but just really loose rock and sort of mossy. So very easy to just grab way too much front brake and then either tuck the front or go over the bars. But yeah, survived and made it through here. So I kind of started recording a little late on this one, but I'm like, oh, I want to get it in the video. So there's a little snippet of a downhill. Now, fast forward to, this is later on in the race. This is probably, I don't know, just over 2.5 hours in. And I just sort of struggled up the first part of this hill. And John Greaves, he was there sweeping and kind of held my back end to make sure I didn't slip off again. And I was feeling pretty gassed already at this point, but yeah, up the hills we go. So this is a really fun section on sort of the northwest corner of the riding area. So yeah, there's lots of cool features here, and I think we had rode a ridge for I'm not even sure how many kilometers, but it was just brutal. Honestly, it wore me out. Couldn't really relax. It was so rocky, and I don't know, I just honestly didn't have the confidence this day, so my race was really slow off the get-go here, and I'm still just not really feeling it, but pressing on, trying to minimize the point loss, I guess, at this stage. I had already, I think the leaders had already kind of checked out, and so I was just in survival mode, but yeah, these hills are a lot of fun. Just, I don't know, loose, and I'm sure in the wet they'd be even more challenging, but they put us through some new terrain here, so it's good to check this out. Here I'm speeding up a little bit. My bladder was a little full, so I decided that this was an opportune time to take care of that before another hill. They called this hill, the pie plate on it was That Fucking Hill. So I guess post-race, they expected a lot of people to be, to have some stories on this one, because it was challenging to get up. It's one thing when there isn't anybody in front of you, and it's a whole other thing when you're fresh, but 2.5 hours into the ride, and I wasn't fresh, and so this hill takes more out of me than it would have otherwise. So I'm always practicing my hill climbs, but when you're fatigued, it's just the littlest bobble, and struggling for air. So yeah, I didn't clean it, but got up. Here's where I really messed up, and a few guys catch me and get past me, but I was just ready to park and take a break. I have my Garmin watch on, and I'm constantly looking at, between my watch and the temperature of my bike, trying to minimize both those numbers getting way too high. So the heart rate, after the race, according to my watch, average heart rate was 164 and the maximum was 196. So it would have been in these sections that my heart rate was just skyrocketing, and I was really trying to just manage it and have it come down. You can get fatigued so easily when once it is up there, the littlest thing can just throw you over the edge. So I was really just trying to be smart about it. And then on this 23 KTM 300XC, I have a fan kit on it, but I have an on-off switch because the sticker just doesn't put out a ton of power, and if you kill the battery, then you get to drop back down the hill and bump start it. So I was trying to manage the temperatures on the bike and not really using the fan the whole time, just turned on every so often, and I'd look down, and I think it got up to 106 Celsius at one point, but for the most part it wasn't awful. So here we go, back at her. I had gotten passed by those guys, and now it feels like my bars are probably 5 feet wide at this point, and it gets even worse later on, the tight trees. Anyhow, yeah, chase these guys down and see if I can get back past them. The guy makes a bit of a mistake on these side hill here with a log, and I was going to wait, and then I thought, oh shit, this is the time to get past. So as long as I don't crash into him, because I'd feel horrible and stupid if I did. So thankfully that didn't happen, and I was able to get by him. I've never been in this section before. I actually first came here. This is fallen timber, burnt timber, Hunter Valley. I'm not sure what the heck you want to call it, but my buddy Tav took a few of us here in 2020 for a ride, and I think half of us made it through. It was about a 5.5 hour ride, and by the 2-hour mark, half of us had dropped off. So thankfully, I was one of the guys that pushed through. But yeah, this is a pretty vast riding area that I haven't explored at a ton. So all this stuff is rather new to me. But yeah, I was checking my watch there and just trying to calm down, get some water. Funny enough, as thirsty as I was, air was more important than water for the most part of this race. So of the 3 liters that I brought with me, I came back with 1.5. So didn't have a lot of opportunities to drink, but that's probably more than most. Oftentimes I just kind of forget to. I don't have it mounted to my helmet, so I've got to fiddle with it, and that's usually when I crash, is when I'm monkeying around trying to get my water in my mouth. So yeah, this was the start of, I'm not sure what they even called this section, but it was just, there's rocks under here, and the ground is pretty mossy, a little humid in here, but the traction was just really at a premium. So this section, if I wasn't tired before, this definitely tuckered me out. I'm not sure, I don't know if I actually ended up catching up to this guy and passing him. I was just trying to keep moving, not stop, but I still at this point felt like I hadn't started racing, and we're already almost 3 hours in, or maybe not 3 hours, but definitely a couple hours into the race, I would say. So the total time, I believe, was, for me anyways, was 3 hours and 39 minutes, 3:40. So yeah, this is definitely over the 2-hour mark, but yeah, I was just really tuckered out. So trying to catch this guy, but not having the speed and the momentum and the stamina to make that happen. So you guys can watch me struggle a little bit here. light now, a few rocks on the ground, and I enjoy riding through the rocks. It can be challenging, and I find as long as you're moving forward, it's not so bad, but the second you stop, it can be tough to get going again. These rocks are all, there's nothing too big here, but some of the bigger, rock fields that you go through, you really just have to keep the wheels moving and try not to stuff your front end in a hole, because when you do, it can be a heck of a time trying to get going, and hard on your bike, obviously, when you're laying it over in the rocks, the pegs and wrecking rads and all the rest of it, all that just becomes more of a reality. So yeah, this is, there's some sporadic rocks here, but we're starting to climb up out of this, and I think the rocks just, keep kind of there's more and more of them to deal with, so, but I'm kind of starting to get a little bit of pace now. Up until this point, I just didn't really have any, and once I'm through here, then it's a whole different story, but I'm still just trying to make my way through. I don't know what the heck they have around the next corner, and again, I haven't been on this trail before, so just feeling my way through and trying to make it out without too many mistakes. Not seeing any rocks over here, so I'm starting to probably panic because I wanted to be going up and not sideways, and next thing you know, coming up here there's more mossy rock, and this really just took the life out of me. I was super fatigued after this section. Here, I made a little mistake, but even those, just again, my bars felt like they're about 5 feet wide, and I just didn't have the confidence of making little mistakes, and they all feel like really, really big mistakes when you're tired. So yeah, this is, I'm going to be riding the struggle bus for a bit longer by the looks of things.
Oh, fuck.
familiar. I've been on this trail before. Normally you go counterclockwise, so I haven't really rode it heading this direction, but at least it's familiar, and I know that at the top of this ridge anyways, there's a cut block, and things speed up, and you can get cooling into the bike and cool myself off, so I'm just looking forward to getting the heck out of this this area at this point. So still probably heart rate probably still skyrocketing, but yeah, the end is near. So I made a little bobble here and sort of went around the tree instead of or to the left of the tree instead of to the right of the tree, but this is the home stretch. Once you get up on this ridge, there's actually some really cool features to ride just down to the right here, if you're brave enough. But often I'll see guys on trail bikes riding in there and playing around. So. Okay, we are, let's see, I'm not sure how far we are into the race now. Within the last, I'd say 45 minutes or so. But this, again, now is a trailer that I'm familiar with. I'm not sure if I've actually, I might have rode it backwards once or twice, so this isn't new to me either way. And I'm feeling a heck of a lot better than I was for the first 3/4 of the race, so now it's really time to turn it on, I guess. As much as I have left in the tank, I'm going to try to charge forward and see if I can catch up to some of the guys. These races are where we start in the mix. It's so hard to tell. You're either passing guys or getting passed by people, and I often have no idea where the heck I am in the grand scheme of things. So it's a lot easier in Alberta than it is in BC, where the numbers are just, the badging is really bad. I've only actually raced once in BC and did the Monkey Wrench earlier this year, and it was the class sizes are easily double what our class sizes are. I think for this race our class is 20 or 22, and all their classes have double the people, so it's just extremely difficult to figure out where the heck you are. At least having raced in 40 last year and now this year, I'm familiar with a lot of the guys that I'm racing against, so I can kind of at least somewhat keep tabs on them. If I'm passing or getting passed, I'll know that they're in my class, but otherwise it just starts to get difficult to manage that. So the best bet is to charge forward and hope that you're out front. But I knew there was a lot of guys that had gone past me here, so I wasn't out front and I had to put the hammer down to see if I could try to catch them. Oddly enough, I was passed earlier in the race. I had somebody on a 4-stroke had come up behind me, and it turns out it was Stephen Burton, I believe it was. He's in my class, and he rides a 4-stroke, so these guys in from Hutch rides a 4-stroke as well. So if they do come up on me and I hear a 4-stroke, usually I'll move out of the way pretty quick. And then when he got past me and I saw he was in my class, I was cursing and had to chase him down and get back past him. So I'm happy to slow guys up from my class, but I'm not gonna try not to get anybody else's way. So yeah, here it's really just trying to make time. So this section and then the ones towards the end all felt like they could be you could really let your the throttle twist the throttle and go. And so yeah, whatever energy I did have left, it was I sort of saved it for this point, and I guess in the end it was probably a little too late. Spoiler alert, I end up 5th overall on this race. So my efforts to catch these guys weren't in vain, but I dilly-dallied way too much for the first 3/4 of this race to actually have any hope of catching the guys out front. So but at this point, there's bikes in front of me, and I'm thinking, hey, let's chase down whoever. always fun getting past people. So if there's somebody up ahead, it's a little bit of a carrot to go chase down, and just motivates you to ride harder. At least that's the case for me. And likewise, when somebody's on my tail, it it kind of pushes me to ride forward. But depending on how soon they came up on me, I know pretty quick whether or not it's somebody I should be racing against, or if it's another rider that I can let go by and tail him for a bit and see if I can learn anything from them, and him or her. Some of the ladies pros are pretty quick too. Melissa is she's pretty fast. And, now that they start ahead of us, I don't have to worry about her passing me, but I've got the chance to get past her, I guess, every once in a while. So that's always fun. But yeah, no, this is a big cut block, so you usually go pretty quick if you stay on the trail. Although all the stumps and whatnot are super dangerous. If you mess up, you can really hurt yourself. So although these sections are fast, you're doing it at some peril, because there's all kinds of little things that are just ready to jump out and mess you up. So yeah, hope for a rip. Just trying to catch these guys.
Came in with a little bit of speed and made a bit of a bobble here. Didn't want to crash on that wood, so I ended up in a bit of the muck, but that's okay. And then off into the trees here. Yeah, hard right, and the guys that I was chasing down, I think they're close by, so actually had really good luck passing people in this race. Nobody really held me up, so that was nice. I don't know that everybody had the same experience, but for me that wasn't really an issue, so that was good. And I guess I should also probably mention, just thank my friends and family and wife and kids, I guess, for supporting me here while I'm off doing these crazy things. She's at home with our 3 children holding down the fort, and I'm out here risking life and limb for something that I'm passionate about. So thanks, honey. And my sponsors as well at Wiseman Contracting. Graham Wiseman, he has a business here just in Edmonton, but does excavation, landscaping, and trucking, and dabbling in a few other things, but he supports me, so that's awesome. Thanks, Graham. And then Lloyd's had to have a court also. That's where I work. I'm a commercial insurance broker, so they support me as well, which is awesome. And if you need commercial insurance, then give me a holler. The other new sponsor I have, Enduro Evolution, won't let too much out of the bag there, but there's some exciting things coming from that company, so more to follow on that. But Tyler's working on some stuff here, and just decided that he was going to also sponsor me this year, so that was pretty exciting. So thanks, Tyler. And we'll get back to the racing here.
tail end of that side of the road here, so it opens up, and there was a few sweepers stationed here. We were warned that the gate had been closed and we were going to have to go under it, but they managed to get that open for us, so didn't have to slow down and worry about getting my head taken off or anything. So this trail is, it's a quad trail that follow the power line, and I normally actually stage north of, I guess I'm heading east right now, so further east of this trail, but I usually bomb down the left side of this hill, and I don't normally stay on the rocky side. So I slowed right up here because it just wasn't super smooth and didn't want to crash. So get back on it, and then there's flagging, which got to pay attention to because it's going to shoot us back into the trees. But they did something like this similar last year, so it wasn't coming as a surprise. But sometimes you get on the gas and you see a trail ahead of you and you don't realize that you should have turned right. So by the time you do, you've lost some time and maybe some positions. But yeah, this is you want to wear your goggles in here because these trees are they're all pretty young, but there's lots of stuff hanging out across the trail. So across this road, normally it's gated so you can't get across it. Otherwise, it's another way to get over to the Undervalley Campground. But cross that, and then back on on some fast trail here. There's a bit of a rut, and I think the ruts actually further up get worse. So when you come out of them or have one tire in, one tire out, you can tip over pretty easy. But for now, this is all fairly simple terrain. Just hang on and try to get through it as fast as you can. Here we're getting close to camp, so I turned the camera back on. Sorry, all these clips this is all my footage from the race. I didn't really bother trying to just leave it on because the batteries normally die, so I wanted to save some for the A-loop, and not knowing exactly what we were riding, I wasn't entirely sure when the heck to turn the camera on, but I knew this was towards the end, and I figured I'll record this. Actually, that log that was at a bit of an angle last year, Lisa Ferguson, Dope Photography, she was set up there, and I saw her and thought, I'm just going to hit this with some speed, and ended up bobbling and near crashing, and so slowed up this time, but she wasn't. She came later this night, so she wasn't around to take any pictures, so I didn't have anybody to show off for. I could just kind of ride. This is more slippery grass again. You try to get on the gas, and it's just your back end wants to go every which way. So kind of has to be somewhat conservative, I guess. But I know. Okay, the end is really close. So let's get going. Last couple corners, I noticed some people up on the bridge here. There's a little bit of a jump when you came back in, and around the corner here, there's you can see the start finish. So trying not to crash. I guess in the pro class, second and third both kind of came together right at the finish line and ended up tying. But I made it through without any incidents. So yeah, survived. Thanks for watching, guys and gals. Till the next one.